Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rini Rahayu, and here I want to present my presentation about reader response criticism and postcolonial theory. But the first one is about reader response criticism. What is reader response criticism? Reader response criticism is a school of literary theory that focuses on the reader or audience and their experience of a literary work. In contrast to other school and the theory that focus attention primarily on the author or the content and form of the work. Uh, there's no denying that there are several literary theory which paid some attention to a specific role of a reader in interpreting the meaning of a piece of literary work. Reader response criticism as a modern literary philosophy began in the 1916 and 17, particularly in the US and Germany, in work by Norman Holland, Stanley Fish, Wolfgang Aischer, Hans Robert Jauss, Roland Barthes, and others. This show development can be caused by language barriers. Since at first, thought about reader response were written in the German. It stood against the other's theory of new criticism and formalism. These two theories totally ignore the reader's role in the creating meaning. The theory identifies the reader as a significant and active agent who is responsible to impart the real meaning of the text by interpreting it. According to modern school literature, it's like a performing art that enables reader create his own text relate unique performance. Focusing on the readers as the main audience of a particular text, it was the first theory which gave importance to the readers more than a text. Many criticisms associate this theory with post-structuralism theory because it has the same emphasis on the role of the reader in actively constructing the meaning of the text. The founding father of this theory is Stanley Fish. Stanley Fish is an American literary theorist, legal school author, and public intellectual. Purpose of the modern reading response theory. Reader response theory exhibits an essential role of the reader when it comes to creating the meaning of the text. The theory works with an ideology of reader existence. According to it, it is only the reading experience in which literary work comes alive. As a reader, while critically reading something you need to explore, the first one is the theme and purpose of the text. Second one, explain why or why not you like that text. Flaws in the plot. Explain if you agree with the writer's perspective or if you disagree with it. The topic, the topic of the study use readers respond criticism in form of intrinsic elements such as themes, plot, characters, dialogue, character, and setting. And here is the article example using reader response criticism. The first one is, for the example, in Mary Wollstonecraft's Shelley Frankenstein. And the second one is the student respond to the thing they carried, and the student respond to the things they carried. We can see the full text my in my summary in my file. And the next about postcolonial theory. What is postcolonial theory? Postcolonial theory is a critical theory analysis of the history, culture, literature, and discourse of imperial power. Critics are concerned with the literary product by colonial power and work product by those who were colonized, primarily concerned with accounting for the political, aesthetic, economic, historical, and social impact of European colonial rule around the world in the 18th through the 20th century. The history. In the 70s, postcolonial era emerged as a scientific study. Postcolonial study in Europe are marked by the publication Edward Said book Orientalism in 1978. Postcolonial theory emerged in the US and UK academic in the 1980 as a part of the large wave of the new and politicized field of humanistic inquiry, most notably feminist and critical race theory. And postcolonialism in the critical academic study of the cultural legacy of colonialism and imperialism, focusing on the human consequence of the control and exploitation of colonized people and their lands. Um, and what kind of topic which can be studied using the approach? Topic which can be studied using this approach, such as history, culture, literature, and discourse of imperial power. Article example using postcolonial theory. The first one in bahasa, analisis postkolonial dalam puisi kesaksian akhir abad karya Rendra. And the second one, postcolonial study of the short story Arabi by James Joyce. The short story of Arabi by James Joyce was published in 1914 in Dubliners, which is a collection of the 15 short stories set in a Dublin city of the Northern Ireland. Arabi is one the short story in which trace of the colonization of Ireland by the Great Britain in the 19th century can be found. Since the context of the short story is set in Dublin, analyzing it in light of postcolonial theory has made it a special case. This essay investigates the way Joyce has portrayed the culture, political, economic, and social dominating of Britain over Ireland, especially Dublin. And here is the some postcolonial writers. There are Edward Said, Franz Fanon, Chinua Achebe, Homi K. Baba, Salma Rushdie, Ngugi wa Thiong'o. And the founding father of this theory is Edward Wady Said. He was a professor of literature at Columbia University, a public intellectual, and a founder of the academic field of the postcolonial studies. And that's all from me, and thank you.